Hi everyone, today I'm making a special dish called Yaksik or Yakbap. It's a traditional Korean dish that's often served at the traditional Korean weddings, 60s birthdays, and other festive occasions. Traditionally, Yaksik is made with chestnuts, but since they're a seasonal food, I've developed a recipe to use sweet potatoes instead of chestnuts. Many people find it challenging to make a delicious yaksik, but in this video, I will walk you through all the details so you can successfully create this wonderful dish. Stay tuned until the end.
This recipe is from this cookbook. We are using glutinous rice for this recipe. So this is the glutinous rice, and then this is the everyday white rice. So you see the difference right there. This is more like beige color, somewhat translucent, and this is completely opaque and the white. And I'm going to rinse 5 times. And we're going to soak the rice in water. This is the 3 cups of rice that has been soaking 3 hours in the summertime and 4 or 5 hours in the winter time. We're going to steam the rice. This is a 6-quart stock pot. You need this size, the minimum. This is my steamer basket. Fill the pot with enough water, but not to exceed the height of your steamer basket leg. This is a wet cheesecloth, silicone steamer mat. I cooked without the silicone mat, and then I lost like almost a half cup of rice. Cooking the plain rice is not a problem. It's not going to stick. But after you season it with the sugar, that's when it becomes a problem. So I suggest that you get yourself a silicone steamer mat like this. This one is like 34 centimeter wide. It's a very good size. Okay, now the water is boiling. You need to cover your lid with a towel like this. Okay. The reason we're doing is because this towel will catch all the water that falls back to the rice. See? So we're going to do this and close it now. Okay, it is tightly closed. And we're going to steam this for 40 minutes. I'm going to reduce the heat to just right above medium because I know the burner is very hot. If you're using a smaller burner like this, then it can cook on medium high. But since I am using big burner today, I reduce the heat in between medium and medium high. In the meantime, let's make the caramel syrup. So earlier, I added 4 tablespoons of white sugar and 2 tablespoons of plain water. We're not going to stir or do anything to this until you see the brown color. It can take up to 4 or 5 minutes. I'm going to reduce the heat to medium high. Okay. It's bubbling vigorously, but still the color didn't brown yet. This is 2 tablespoons of corn syrup or those Korean cooking syrup. What it does is if you make caramel sauce without the corn syrup, after the caramel sauce is made, it will harden like hard candy. But if you add this corn syrup to it, I can smell the burnt sugar. Can you see the color now? So you have to leave it on the heat until Oh my god, it's going to burn. That's when I'm going to remove from the heat. Okay, so let me. Okay, now I think it's burning now. I turn the heat off, and then, whew. Okay, it's gonna be loud because I'm using metal spoon because it's so hot. Okay. So you need to stir it. Off the heat here, I'm gonna add the syrup. Okay, it's bubbling. And then stir. We're going to melt the syrup in here. Smells so good. All the syrup is well melted in the caramel sauce. And now let's add 2 tablespoons of very warm water to this. Mix really well. Okay. Oh, it's still bubbling. Oh yes, and make sure that you do use the thick bottom or heavy bottom pan like this. Otherwise, it will just burn the sugar before it even turns into caramel sauce. Stir very well. So this is a nice thin caramel sauce. This is going to give the yaksik, what we're making today, a beautiful color and also extra flavor. You see the consistency? Ready. The rice has been cooking for about 10 minutes. So what I want you to do is, okay, let's take the lid off, and then using a long spoon or spatula, we want to stir the rice so the rice will cook evenly. Sprinkle some cold water. Put the lid back up. 10-15 minutes later, I'm gonna come back and do the same. It's been 40 minutes. Let's take a look. Woo! Okay, it's well cooked. Give it a taste. Nice and sticky. That is the beauty of this rice. Okay. The next step is in a big bowl like this. Okay, I'm going to lift off the steamer liner and put all the rice. The 1 cup brown rice. We're not going to use it all. We're going to use only 3/4 of it. I'll say that's about a 1/4 cup. Okay, set that aside. We have a use for it. Mix. Okay. When you see like a chunk of rice like that, you want to gently break it. It looks and feels a bit watery because of the brown sugar, but don't worry, it will all well work out beautifully at the end. The next step is 3 tablespoons of regular soy sauce. Okay. Caramel sauce that we made earlier. Okay. This is 3 tablespoons of pine nuts. Then 1/2 teaspoon ground cinnamon. If yours is very fresh and potent, then use a little less than 1/2 teaspoon. I'm only going to use 1 tablespoon of sesame seed oil. Save the other tablespoon for later. The author of the cookbook or this recipe says, let this marinate for 2 hours. So you know the lid that we use to steam the rice, same, will cover. Because the rice is still hot. When you cover with the lid, it's going to steam, and then the water will drop back to the bowl. That's why you want to use cloth covered lid right now. I'm going to set the timer for 2 hours. The rice is steaming away. Let's get our jujubes going. We want to give it a quick rinse. Be gentle with this because the skin, jujube skin, is quite fragile. Let's just hope that it's very clean in between the creases. If you find it not so clean, that you might want to use a very soft brush. Okay, I got my vegetable brush out. One thing you don't want to do is you don't want to soak this jujube in the water for too long. It's going to soak up all the water and then lose its flavor. Okay, make sure there's no water. That's ready. We're going to need 1 pound peeled. I'm going to give it a quick rinse. We're going to cut this in half again. I'm trying to make it look like it's a little chestnut. We have to soak this in water to remove starch. Each little pieces, trim off the sharp corners and edges. Even if you do just like, you know, few here and there, it does make a difference. I have a lot to go, so I'm going to sit down and do this, and I'll let you guys know how long it will take. I'm done trimming off those sharp corners and edges. It just took me 15 minutes. So I want to show you the water. Yeah, a lot of starch released. I'm going to discard this. I'm going to rinse this off just once. Try to blot off the water. Use the same bowl as well. Just do this. Set this aside. Jujube. You want to go over 360 degrees because there's a pit in the middle that we need to remove. Okay. When you split this, you want to split from the pole end to the other pole. So there to that end. I'm going to slice this a 1/4 inch width or thick. And remember that we saved 1/4 cup of the brown sugar. Now we're going to add it to this. I'm going to cover it and then set it aside. So I just checked the timer and I still have 1 hour to go for this to marinate. So what I'm gonna do is have the steamer ready. Okay. If you don't hear anything, the water noise, that means all the water had steamed off, so you have to add a bit more water. This time we have to be more careful because we're steaming the sugar rice. That means sugar will drop onto the bottom of the pot and then it will mix with the steaming water, and then the sugar water will burn more quickly than the plain waters. The pot is ready. it has been 2 hours. It's very well marinated. To this, we're going to add, mix this very well. The color overall looks quite nice. This is the color that I was trying to achieve. The water is really boiling, so I'm going to reduce the heat somewhere between like medium high. I'm going to create like a little space so the steam will come up. Covered. Now set the timer for 30 minutes. It has been 15 minutes. I'm going to stir up once. Just in case that there's not enough water. I'm trying to create a space in between. I am able to pour some water. Now I don't have to worry about this getting burned because I poured extra water. Close the lid and I just have to wait for 15 minutes. My timer went off, so it's been 30 minutes. I already turned off the heat. Ooh, okay, let's reveal. Wow, looks beautiful. I really like the color. Give it a stir. Close the lid and just let it rest for 5 minutes. Okay. One final touch is that this wouldn't be called yaksik if it doesn't have honey. So this is 1 tablespoon of honey, tablespoon of sesame seed oil. This is going to give nice glistening look and also the flavor. Mix well gently because we don't want to break the sweet potato or the rice. Can you guys see the amount of sweet potato that we get with this? You can get sweet potato in every bite. One more taste. This is very delicious. If it's this delicious now, for you cooks out there, it will be even more delicious tomorrow. I want to show you how you would serve this in a small bowl like this, any bowl of your choice. Sweet potato that looks just like chestnut. This very traditional Korean dish. Another thing you can do is this freezes very well. Wrap it, freeze it. You can simply microwave this without thawing, straight from the freezer. It is January here in LA, so I am able to get chestnuts. There is a basket full of it. 2 pounds of chestnuts you need to peel. The recipe calls for 1 pound of either peeled chestnuts or sweet potato. As you can see, chestnuts, after you peel off all the layers of skins, you're gonna end up with just a half the weight. So make sure you get enough. Chestnuts are quite hard. Even if you cut it small, it's not gonna get mushy. So I'll cut into small bite sizes like this. Now I want to talk about sweet potatoes. As you can see, they're identical on the outside unless you look at the tip right there. It's orange flesh and then it's white flesh. I'm going to cut this in half. See, now you see the difference right away. This is more popular here in the US. To most Americans, this is known as sweet potato. And this one is known as Japanese sweet potato. So please make sure you use this for this recipe, not this, because this is not sweet enough. But the bigger problem with this type is it becomes really mushy in this recipe, so it's not gonna work. So I just wanted to show you guys, you know, two different types of sweet potato. Once again, thank you so much for watching. This is so delicious. I hope you give it a try.